And here we are once again. I have pushed the right button this time, so the microphone works immediately. Hello.
You always push the right button. You always push. No, never mind. That's not good.
No comment. No comment on that.
Hello, Exiles.
Hello.
How is everyone? Hello. Yeah, hello to YouTube, hello to Twitch, hello to Twitter, hello to Mixer, hello to... Did I miss
Periscope?
Periscope?
Well, yeah, that's
Twitter.
Twitter. Yes, that is Twitter.
Yeah.
Here we are once again. It is Thursday, so it is time for a stream from the Funcom Oslo office. And it's been a while since we've done a Conan Exiles stream, but it is time once more for us to do a Conan Exiles stream. It is the Natascha and Jens Erik Power Hour. This is Natascha, I'm Jens Erik, in case you didn't know how names work. I guess I am off to a great start today. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's been a while because there was Easter, and then we did Mutant Year Zero last week, and I think Nicole is in chat as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yes, Nicole is indeed in chat. So shout out to Nicole as well. It's her.
It's our Nicole.
Is there a Twitter live stream? There is a Periscope live stream, which is also sending to Twitter. So yes.
You could theoretically watch it on Twitter if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Yes. I think also,
live to Twitter.
In theory, we should be live on Steam, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I forgot. That's what I
need to double check this.
If I have the microphone a bit to the side, no, then it's in front of the camera, right?
That's the thing.
Because the problem is I'm always cutting out. Notice.
Yeah,
some
but
people were complaining about.
We are also live on Steam, which is pretty amazing.
Steam!
Hello, Steam!
Yes.
Shout out to Steam.
We didn't mean to forget you.
Your chat doesn't appear on the thing here, unfortunately, but if you have any questions, hopefully we'll answer them. Hopefully someone else will have those questions and we'll answer them during the stream. Who knows? Someone is asking if their character can get your arm tattoo, Natascha.
You know what? I can make that happen. I can make it happen. I'll talk to the team.
Try.
I can make it happen. We'll get you that. Actually, maybe we should do a poll and see if there's actually a lot of people who would like it, then we can introduce it.
I mean, I think
into a specific community mom DLC. No, not DLC, but like a free update.
I mean, that should go out on free. Because I think every time we do this, every time we do one of these streams where you're in the stream, someone comments on your tattoo.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's a really cool
there's
tattoo.
like people have been. Thank you. People have been also friends before. So I appreciate that.
All right. So, exciting things are going on. As some of you may have noticed, it is May the 2nd today. And next week is
What is next week, chat? What is next week?
Yes, what is next week?
Who's the first one to... let me see. I want to see the first one. What is next week? What is happening next week, chat? Don't let us...
Yes!
Birthday! Fun Specs.
Fun Specs did it right. It is the Conan birthday.
It's the Conan anniversary.
Yes.
1 year.
1 year of
1 year.
It's been 1 year since full release.
Full release. That's what I meant.
On PC, Xbox, and PS4. And so there's going to be some cool stuff that you're going to get to see next week.
Yeah.
We're also going to do another live stream next week, which I think you guys are going to be really happy about. Poor John and S are still coming to grips with the fact that it's May. I agree. Because we're living in this weird dystopia now where things take forever, but everything also happens very quickly. But that is how it is. Should we? Yeah. So anniversary next week. We're very excited about it. And I remember last year when I was sitting here working overtime and trying to make stuff happen for the launch of the game. Our baby is 1 year. That'll be really cool.
Baby is 1 year.
So, should we mention something that's going to happen next week?
A lot.
A lot?
So, of course, we can say that the new content is, of course, going to be part of next week.
Yes.
So,
the new content
be excited. The new content that is on Test Live right now.
Absolutely. Which is some new weapons, some witch doctory, which allows you to summon skeletons and other undead pets for you. And did I also mention the new dungeon? I think I did. There's a new dungeon as well.
Not yet.
Which
now you did.
Now I did. Which people seem to really appreciate. And I think a lot of people
revamps of existing cities.
Yes.
Like Sepemeru is being revamped. The unnamed city has even more changes. There's a new mini dungeon as well. The summoning upcoming place, the Darthari city, of course, which is linked to the pets. So there's new things. There's a lot of new exciting stuff coming from the Dagon dungeon as well that gives you new feats, new recipes, new weapons, lots of cool stuff. And there's there are a few little other things as well.
Yes.
That you will be.
And
fish people, yeah.
For example, fish people. I think we're planning to roll it out on all platforms at the same time. Maybe.
It depends a little bit.
Fingers crossed.
It depends.
It's one of those dependencies people thinks, but
ideally we'd like
to do that every time.
But since PC is easier to hotfix immediately, and for console we have, if there is some issues that we'd like to address, we kind of have to go through the console certification again.
Yeah.
And that would mean more patching, more waiting for the console players. So ideally we would like to make sure we have as much ready and as ready as possible to have them also for the console. So that's kind of the reason that sometimes we patch PC before consoles.
Yep.
So we can fix something very fast for PC in a hotfix, and then we can do all the fixes as a whole package for consoles. That is the reason that sometimes console lags a bit behind, or they have some additional things waiting that need to go in for Xbox, for example.
Yes, like today when we patched PS4 to roll out some performance improvements specifically for the PS4.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that we're not, focusing on Xbox as well, or focusing on PC as well. Sometimes
it just takes longer for Xbox.
Sometimes you need to add specific fixes for specific platforms at specific times.
I noticed someone, I think on the forums or on Reddit, was like, "Oh, so PS Pro have now an advantage and things." It was actually a little bit the other way around. It was more that PS Pro had some performance issues that the normal PS4 didn't have. So now we try to improve the performance for the PS4 Pro players. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
English today. So it's not that they have an advantage, it was more like they have a little bit less, hopefully less performance issues.
Right. Speaking of PS4, we are still Conan Exiles is still free on PS4, I think, for another 5 days.
You think so?
I think is when I do believe, because I saw some news yesterday about the next round of PS Plus. Right, you have to be a PS Plus member, by the way, to get it for free. And I think the next round
for free, because you still have to pay.
Well, yeah, you pay for PS Plus
subscription, right? Yes. So it's not necessarily really free, but of course I understand that people say like it's free.
Exactly. And what was I saying? Yes, I do believe it rolls over on the 5th of May. 7th of May. I might be wrong about this, but you should just, Google PS4, PS Plus games, and you'll get to see that right away. If you still haven't grabbed Conan Exiles on the PS4 yet, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you still have a few days left. I'm usually always the person straggling behind of all this stuff.
You do one thing in the last possible day?
Usually don't, but sometimes it happens. Anyway.
But also, we had like 10,000 new subscribers last month on Reddit alone. Oof. I think around 10,000. We had like so many new people join us in the community. Again, we said that last stream as well.
Yeah.
Welcome to everyone that is new, and not only PS4 players, of course, also Xbox players, PC players. It's super awesome to have you guys with us.
Someone suggested we should spoil something in our native language, but the thing is,
there's
probably a Norwegian or a German watching. Well, you're Swiss, but you speak German.
I could talk Swiss German, but I'm pretty sure there's
probably a Swiss person watching as well.
That's very dangerous.
So unfortunately we can't do that, but that would be great if no Norwegian or German speakers
Of course there's people already asking about mounts again. So the thing is, we will tell you as soon as we do have an update on new mechanics coming. If you're at the process or at the point in development that we feel like, okay, this we feel comfortable talking about that now.
Yeah.
But for now, we don't have anything else to share, and be assured we will share. And we are like, believe us when I say, we are like the first ones that want to share cool new stuff with you. And it's sometimes hard to keep like cool new stuff to ourselves as well. But it's just important to not talk about things too early, because then deadline kind of starts, and it's kind of like a timeline that starts like, but they mentioned that like 2 months ago and it's still not here.
Told you, there are at least 2 Norwegians. There are 2 Norwegians watching right now, one on YouTube and one on Twitter.
Yep.
No, Twitter. I'm sorry, on Twitch. So yeah.
Ingen norske här i vart fall.
No, she also speaks Norwegian, so you know. That's,
I do.
but yeah, it's that is what the deal is with mounts. It's the same thing with sorcery. Once we have something to update you guys with, we will obviously update you. But right now, we don't really have anything else to share. But you know, people are gonna keep asking until we tell them what they want to hear.
Same with sorcery. Like any new mechanics, if we are working on something that it's actually ready to be shared, that we are like feel comfortable process-wise and development-wise, we will let you guys know. That is a promise. We will let you guys know.
Let's see, what else do I have on my list here before we jump into
Can you teach us in Klingon?
If I spoke Klingon, I speak one word of Klingon, and that is kapla, which is success.
Isn't it revenge?
No, it's success.
It's success, okay.
I think.
You're
because
probably
right. I do believe that is what it is. And Batleth, which is this sword staff thing, that is the only thing that I have.
Jack Joseph says Conan is amazing, got dropped into played over a year ago in preview and still going strong. Thanks. No, thank you.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you. That's really great to hear.
Yes. I remember now. So finally, the Turan DLC, the Treasures of Turan DLC, is available on all platforms now.
Yeah.
After a bit of a hiccup on Xbox One. Yep. Finally, we were able to solve everything we needed to solve.
The Season 2 Pass, just let me mention that, the Season 2 Pass, which will have the Turan DLC included and like the additional DLCs that will be coming, is not available yet on Xbox, and that's because it's still in certification, so we wait until it's through.
Yep.
So this whole thing there has been an unfortunate event of weird things combining, and we didn't do that on purpose. That wasn't planned, and there was nothing we could do, unfortunately, from our side. It was just little things coming together, and we apologize for that.
Yeah.
But the season pass is coming, and we will let you know immediately as soon as it's available.
Bo Diddle points out that Kapla apparently means successful revenge, so we were both right.
No, he's just joking, I'm pretty sure. He's probably joking. I appreciate that, though. That was nice.
It looks like
he's playing Switzerland, basically.
Yeah, maybe. And it looks like our Restream chat software has crashed, so I need to reopen that.
Oh no.
It froze at least. That was weird. But we'll be back now. So yeah, the Turan stuff should now be available, if that is your thing.
Oh yeah, we missed a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Whoa, okay.
That's a lot of...
that's old things.
That's a lot of YouTube, at least. And
YouTube is very active today.
YouTube is extremely active, and we appreciate it.
That's amazing.
Shout out to YouTube.
Yeah, shout out to YouTube.
Okay, let's see. What else we got? I think that's what we have for news and stuff that we need to talk about. So I think we can jump into the game now. Maybe. Yes,
Let's
probably.
do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, I wanted to do another mod showcase because I like showing off mods.
Actually, let us do, because someone was like, I love the latest DLC. The last DLC is pretty awesome. Let us do a little poll.
Yes, let's do that. Let's see if this thing works. Let's see if this thing works.
Which of the DLCs you like the best? Yeah, so let's see if that works. Did that work?
I think, yeah, it worked on Twitch at least.
I'm not sure if the other platforms are actually seeing this.
I think it only works on Twitch, which is a whole thing here. But we're gonna try.
Okay, so you can do basically do exclamation mark vote and then 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Oh, it's 0 to 4.
0 to 4.
Okay, from 0 to 4.
If you are in our Twitch chat. Yeah.
Yes.
But,
that's unfortunate that it's
this is really cool. And you can see it update there.
Yeah.
I've never used this thing before, so I'm kind of happy about this. Yeah, and someone was asking what the difference was between Year 2 and Year 1 DLC. So the Year 1 is the Year 1 is a bundle of the 4 DLC packs that we launched during the first year of Conan Exiles. Well, we're sort of cheating a little bit, but then Turan kicked off Year 2, and so because it's the 5th one, and so in the Year 1 bundle you will get Imperial East, Jewel of the West, Savage Frontier, and Secrets of the Dawn. And if you own any of those already and you want to buy the bundle, you get it at a slightly cheaper cost because you already own one of them. And then in the Year 2 Season Pass, if you buy that, you will just automatically get all major core DLCs, as we're calling them, which includes Treasures of Turan and then 3 others. which names I do not remember right now, and so I cannot name them.
From the future ones?
Unfortunately. Yes, of the
That's
future
fine.
ones.
That's fine. That's okay.
But people, one of them was called, I'm not going to say it.
No.
But it's interesting.
Let's not.
Let's see, where are we?
Oh,
yes,
love
this is where
roasting
we
that
are.
switch from YouTube to Twitch. Why are we voting? So we're voting on which of the DLCs you like the best. So if you do exclamation mark vote from 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yes.
No, I don't remember which is which though. Actually, I should write that down so we can. There we go.
But
oh, thank you, man.
LolXD
fantastic.
is always on point.
One of our chosen of Azuras.
Yes.
One of our absolute.
See, we did a good thing when we made him a mod.
Yeah.
So, today I'm going to be looking at. I like doing mod showcases because I like looking at some of the things that people do to add to the game. Some of those smaller, like quality of life things that you can just sort of plunk into the game and you can use it to make your life a little bit easier, a little bit better, etc. And so what we have today is something made by Ill Spirit on Steam. It's called the Exile Architect Mod, and compared to some of the other stuff that we've done previously, it's a bit smaller in scope, but to me at least it adds a whole lot. Like it adds a lot more
quality of life.
More quality of life, essentially.
It's
yeah. And it is essentially because when a lot of the things that people tell us when they're building is that it's sort of annoying for them when they start placing out all their foundations and everything, and then they realize, oh, I have this one thing in the wrong spot.
It's hard to plan in detail.
And then when they have to destroy that one thing, they get some of the building materials back, but not all of them, which then they have to like restock on everything, and that can be a bit annoying, which I totally understand. And so once I came across this thing, I realized, holy shit, that's really brilliant. It's a very minor thing that does a pretty big difference.
Quite an impact, yeah.
Yeah, and so what Exile Architect does is that it essentially allows you to build so-called mason lines. And it is something that you, if you have it installed as a mod, you can unlock it at the same time as the Apprentice Mason feat. It costs you 1 feat point. And then you have all these things available to you, which you can basically use to build, to basically plan out and see how you want to build your structures. And so I'm just going to make a very simple box because it's just very easy to do.
Lol, yeah, we're just letting the poll run for a while, so it will be going on.
And these mason lines are incredibly cheap. It's 2 wood and 1 twine per line. And then right now I have unlimited building turned off, so I can just have as many of them as I want to. But then it's very easy and very cheap to just build a bunch of them and just like plan out your structures. And then once you realize, oh, I need to change this thing, you don't lose a lot of items when you destroy them. And then once you're happy with how everything looks, you can just start building inside because they don't block where you put your foundations. So if I wanted to, I can just start building on top of them, and you can see them sort of sticking out here, and then I think you can just do boop, dismantle, dismantle, and then you've got yourself a nice little start to whatever you're doing. And what's interesting is that they will snap to each other at different angles. So you don't just do this at... You can do this by, you can use them to build more than just a square box, essentially, which I thought was really, really cool. So
I agree.
Here, I have basically planned out a lot of different, like where I want a lot of different building pieces. So I could check, oh, in this area, can I add a triangle? Yes. Do I have to add a triangle next to it? Yes, I do. And then next to that again, I'm going to add a square foundation. And then I'm basically using all of this.
Such a cool idea to make more complex, plan out more complex forms and bases.
I'm doing all of this to map out my structure, and if I want it to be really big,
shape,
I can basically use it to start adding rooms. And as far as I know, it doesn't block any type of building pieces or foundations. I'm going to try with fence foundations.
It's basically like you build garden beads and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
It's like very cool. I love it. It's so smart.
Someone did ask about fence foundations as well. It does not block fence foundations. You can just add as many fence foundations to it as you want. You can also add fence foundations to them diagonally if you want to do that as well. I think also the fact that they snap halfway to some of these is to account for fence foundations. And so you can essentially use this to plan out the shell or like the entire like body of your structure. Well, actually, this sort of I messed this up a bit here, but
you can build a line leading up to a roller coaster in your theme park. Says Bo Diddles, which is totally true.
That'd be amazing.
It reminds me of a roller coaster tycoon, actually. No, the latest one, Frontier.
No, not Parkitect. The other one.
No, what was it called? I love that.
Planet Zoo. No, that's the new one.
No, that's a new one.
Yeah.
It's not roller coaster tycoon. It's the other one. What is it called again? I don't remember. It's okay.
Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster.
You're
correct.
welcome.
Yes, thank you. So, Little Sister earlier in the Periscope asked, will this game get more cosmetic updates? I'm actually not sure what do you mean by that? Cosmetic updates as in graphic updates or more cosmetic items being added, or
I'm going to assume
character
that it's
cosmetics?
in character creation.
Maybe Little Sister can like let us know what exactly was meant. And then we had Gegi42, who said he or they would like more building pieces and placeables, and we just added more for.
We've added a whole bunch with the Turan DLC,
like lots of new placeables and building pieces,
and they all look really cool. They're all very golden and nice, and all that kind of stuff. But Jens, I hear you ask metaphorically. Because I can't literally hear you speak to me. What if I want to add like big sections at a time? Well, the mod creators have thought of that as well, because you can also create a mason line that is the length of one foundation. But then there's also the 2x mason line, which I also think is really neat because it is the length of 2 foundations.
That is so smart.
And it's really, really clever, and it snaps to each other the same way the other ones do. And so you can just check them at angles and angle it all out. So if you want to make a circle, for example, or if you want to just make a really tight corner here, for example, I know that there's a wedge that can fit in right there, and then I just keep placing out wedges along this entire side right here. I really think this is a really... Whoops, I placed the wrong thing there. Boom. I really think this is just a really simple and clean and just easy way to just map out where you want your walls to be, where everything else you want to be, and then once you build over it, like might stick out a bit there, but then you can just dismantle it, and then you get some of your stuff back. And it's all very... once you build it, it's all very cheap. It's 2 wood for the poles, and then 1 piece of twine for the rope. And then if you're doing the 2x one, then it's 2 pieces of wood and then 2 pieces of twine. And it's very easy. It's very simple, and I like it a lot because it adds a whole lot of extra stuff and a lot of like really good quality of life stuff, I think. It is called Exile Architect, and it's made by a person named Illspirit on Steam, and you can find it. It is one of the more subscribed to mods, as far as I can remember. So just do a quick search for it on Steam, and you can find it right there. But that's not all. But I hear you have something to say, so go ahead.
Yeah, like, rather than rolling out new content that's bugged, can you just fix the bugged stuff first? New streamer 1988 on Twitch. Well, that's a question that a lot of gamers ask in any game.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is actually that when we did the patch, the big patch, the really big patch for the Steam Free Weekend earlier this year, it was actually full of bug fixes. So we focused like 100% on bug fixes. Because we knew that like last year we did a few patches that we weren't really happy with those patches that added new content but also created a few new issues. So now for like a lot of months late last year and early this year, we were only focusing on bug fixes. But of course, then we also have veteran players that have played for a while, and they want to see new content. So we have
It's
like
a balancing
players,
act.
We have players who want to. They have a bug that's super annoying to them specifically, and then you have players that they're not really either. They don't really see that bug, or they're not really that bothered by it. But they're more important. For them, it's more important to get new content. So while we have been focusing on bug fixing, primarily, we are now doing both. It's not that we introduce new content and we totally stop on fixing bugs. That's never gonna happen ever. But there's a development time, and there's a lot of things that we want to do within that development time, but we just have to prioritize. That's just how it is. And then as soon as you start prioritizing, some people will not be happy because we won't maybe prioritize the things that they would like to see. And that's just how development and software development in general goes. It's just unfortunately a fact.
If we had unlimited people and unlimited amount of resources, of course we would work on everything at the same time.
Also, I would like to make everyone happy. I mean, that would be amazing if you could just push a button or do something and make everyone happy. But that's just not how it works, right?
What about adding more bugs, like a giant beetle?
Oh,
Get it? Because it's a bug.
I do understand. You didn't have to explain that to me, but thank you.
I do that for everyone. It's not just you.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yes, unfortunately, this is only for PC because we don't support mods on consoles. So my apologies to the console players out there who feel a bit robbed.
Jens apologizes personally to you guys.
Absolutely. And yes, Bo Diddles, you did make me laugh because I thought that was a really good pun. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Just blame Rob the Swede and say hi for me. I'm sure he's somewhere on I'm sure he's lurking somewhere.
He's probably lurking somewhere. Or he's at home taking care of his dogs. Who knows? So Exile Architect doesn't just add plot lines, and they're actually called plot lines. I looked this up.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a plot, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
you're plotting out land.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it also adds a bunch of basically like wooden poles and walkways and stuff that you can build. For example, you can use it to build a bridge, like I have done here. I also had to use some pillars because of
I like those pillars.
the size of this whole gap here. I realized once I was halfway over, I was like, oh, I probably did. This is a bit too much.
It's
actually.
a really cool pathway, though, like a bridge.
Yeah, I thought it's nice.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
But the main thing, at least in the explanation text for this mod, is that you can use a lot of this for. You can essentially use it as scaffolding, which I thought was really interesting because you can stack these poles on top of each other, and much like the mason lines, they're also pretty cheap to make. So for one walkway pole foundation, it's 8 wood and it's 4 twine. And there's twine and wood pretty much everywhere. And you can use this to start building scaffolding around your buildings, so you don't have to climb on them all the time, or you don't have to activate fly mode if that's not your thing. Like if you're a role player and you need to build stuff, for example, you can essentially use this as a way for you to get some elevation and then start building over more and more stories. Which again, it's a very minor addition, and it sounds like I'm being negative. I'm absolutely not. I think it's a really great addition, but it's those smaller things that just adds to it. And like Feroy here says that they've been using sandstone as scaffolds, which is a pretty good that's a good idea, but sandstone can also be expensive compared to this, which is it's like 8 wood and 4 twine or 2 twine for one just poles essentially. And so they have all the same attributes as regular building pieces. So if you've added something to a foundation, then you can start building out from it, and then you just add more of these underneath essentially, like I'm doing right. Let's see if I can get this under.
So there's a few more other things that keep popping up in chat that we have during every stream really as well.
Yes,
and that's
go ahead.
The question about new map extension, yes or no, and the answer is no, because the thing is, actually one of our big YouTubers has kind of blamed us or mentioned that they're lying and stuff about this, because
Shout out to Firespark.
The thing is that we said as well in the last stream that we can't expand the current map because of performance issues, and that's not like or technical issues, and that's because you have to imagine that we have expanded the map before, as you know, and it's not that it's not possible. Like it's not like it's not possible to do like coding wise, but it's not possible to do performance wise because you would have like even more structures and pieces and things in the world to load. Basically, there's trees, there is stones, there is maybe water, there's new creatures, there's new area for you guys to build on, for you guys and girls to build on, and that would really impact the performance on the servers and lag and all that and frame rate insanely, right? So it's more about the fact that you have to remember since even early access, people have been building stuff and they have been creating stuff, and that gets more and more and more, right?
They're still building stuff.
And they're still building stuff. So, and right now we're keeping up with performance increase, so we don't have to like destroy buildings like manually or like have it. That would be completely stupid, right? To have to like destroy player buildings to help with performance. But if we would add a whole new area on the map, that would create a lot of additional issues for us. That's kind of what we mean by it's an issue technical and performance wise, right? I hope that makes sense.
I feel like it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you can essentially just keep building with the scaffolding around your structures and then add to it and add to it and add to it. And then once you're done, you just tear it down and you get some wood back and you get some twine back. And I think it's a really, really neat little addition to the game.
I agree. Also, I mean, that totally didn't mean to like call out Firespark for being like a bad guy.
No.
He makes amazing videos,
yes.
and I really like his videos actually. And it's good to be, critical and give feedback, and because that feedback for us is important because it's the same as posting constructive feedback on the forums or on Reddit or on Steam.
Yeah.
As long as it's done in a respectful way, that's totally fine. It's very important to us too, and it's important to improve. It's just that he was kind of saying that, well, they added things before, so it's completely stupid that they can't do it again, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify what we meant by that.
Yeah.
It's not that I feel like it was a bad thing to do or anything, so don't get me wrong.
And my apologies for making it sound like I was hanging Firespark up to dry. I absolutely was not.
No, that's definitely not what we meant to do. And apologize if it sounded that way.
Yes. What am I doing? I'm trying to and there's also a really neat little support beam that you can build along your walkways if you need to attach them to sides of your buildings, all that kind of stuff. So it's a great way to just, if you want to build a huge tower, then you can build a huge tower and you can start like adding scaffolding around it. And for all you role players out there, it's a really great what am I saying? Great. It's a really great way to if your character is in so mid build sort of, you can add all the scaffolding around, which add more character and adds more flavor to the stuff that you're trying to build.
Construction
and the stuff that
sites.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really neat.
I totally agree. It's a really great mod.
So yeah, I'm also going to switch gears slightly because all of this is compatible with the regular building system that we have, and so you just slot different foundations next to each other, and you can add these walkways up here, for example, and see if will a stair fit in there? How does that look? Instead of using all the stair resources that you would normally use, you can just make a very basic wooden one and see, how will this look there? How can I build around it? What do I have to do to build around it, etc., etc. And I think it's really neat. The last thing.
Yasrek is asking, why don't you play through the game on stream? But
I mean, I can do that.
Funcom can certainly consider doing that. Nicole, what? How would we? That's just it's a like an open-ended survival sandbox game, so it doesn't necessarily have an ending. I mean, you could theoretically play through the storyline, but that would kind of spoil those parts, and it's not really what the game is about either, so it's kind of difficult to do that. And then we have like players who really like different parts of the game, like there's players who love to build, there's players who love to roleplay, there's players who love to PvP, or just players that love to explore and do PvE and do dungeons and things, right? So kind of what would we do then? What would you show? Which part of the game? So that would be kind of, because there's so much to do, right? So that would be kind of difficult to do a playthrough.
So the bridge that I made over here, in case you're just joining us,
Oh, playing for fun. Gotcha.
We are showcasing the Exile Architect Mod.
Gotcha.
And the bridge that I made over here is something that I just made using the scaffolding tools and the walkway and the pole foundations, all that kind of stuff. And it's made a nice bridge. And also I had to use some of these pillars because of stability and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, finally what I was going to show was, because it's a bit of a cheat, because Illspirit has also made another mod which adds, it basically adds a different kind of fence to the game. And I thought, you know, since we're already showing off one of Illspirit's mods, why not show off both of them? Because the other one is kind of neat too.
Are these pieces in game or a mod, Charles Bass asks? Well, the building piece that you see right now, the ones on the floor, those are actually from the DLC.
Yeah.
Those are actually in game.
We can show off some of those afterwards.
Yeah.
But what Illspirit also has made are these basically fence frames, which you then can add a gate to, or a door. I mean, it's a gate, and it's again one of those things that just add a tiny bit of flavor, a tiny bit of, you know, just extra things that I think are really neat. And they open and close just like regular doors do, and it's just something that you can add to your fences. And then if you maybe you have like a tiny flower garden or something, and then you can build this nice fence around it, and instead of just having fence and then doorway and then door, you now have a nice little fence and then a gate that you can then walk through, which I thought was really neat. Also, something else that comes with the Exile Architect mod is the wooden post fence, which is exactly what you think it is. It is just a bunch of wooden posts like this, which
that looks so cool. I
it
love
does.
the design
It is
of that.
absolutely really good. And so, like, you,
really nice.
What it should go without saying that, you know, they haven't just, like, they've taken a lot of the building pieces that's already here and they've remodeled them, which takes a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Work.
Yeah. And it's really cool to see the effort and see the care that goes into something that, you know, might seem to be very small, but then adds a lot to the game once you actually start playing around with it, once you actually start, you know, looking at it.
Florix was asking about server wipes, so they won't happen. We will not wipe like existing servers. I mean, we are discussing some other things with specific servers, but definitely there won't be a wipe on existing servers where players have established bases and structures, because that would just not be okay. Because I feel if we do that, then we have to communicate beforehand, hey, if you build here, this will be wiped like once a month, right? So that won't happen with existing servers, because that would just not be okay.
And like we understand why people ask for it, like absolutely,
in
because
some cases, yeah.
in some places, like it doesn't seem like there are any places left to build, for example. And so obviously you would want some level of cleanup, of course.
You're gonna fix the lag or just watch your game die out? No, we're not trying to watch our game.
We are trying to fix the lag.
That's definitely, that wouldn't be good business practice to just not fix stuff on purpose.
Nebuyoka, how are the chances that we get dynamic loading and unloading of mods? You can keep all those wonderful mods when we decide to serve a server that does not have them. That is in the game. If you join a server that is a modded server, you will automatically, you will be prompted to automatically download all the mods that are already there, and then it will happen almost, well, not instantaneously, but, you know, the download will start. Once the download ends, you can just join in on the mod again.
Some community directors just want to watch a digital world burn. Well, I am not one of those, I assure you. Some probably do. I don't know any though. I think generally community people, we are doing our jobs because we really do care about both the community and the game and the company we work for. So I don't know any that would actually, but that made me laugh anyway though.
And in case people were curious about the building pieces that I'm using, this is from the Treasures of Turan DLC.
That's so beautiful.
And
I love it so much.
It's really cool looking. I just need to flip
Definitely
this.
one of my. It's actually if not the one, definitely one of my favorite ones so far. Saying that, we still have the poll going, so if you do !mark votes and then go from 0 to 4, maybe Lol can paste, or Nicole can paste the
I mean, we have a pretty clear, not winner, but like,
we have a pretty clear
Jewel of the West is pulling ahead.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah,
let's
people
not,
don't really. Yeah.
Not yet, but let's not influence that voting. But that's interesting. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah. And the thing about Tehran, if you're unfamiliar with Hyborian cultures, which I certainly was before I started working on Conan Exiles, Tehran is, I think it's originally based on like Persia, like Middle Eastern cultures, and then within the fiction of Hyboria, they are one of the more wealthy races. So I'm gonna build like a tiny platform for myself to stand on, and so in like their armor, for example, we've incorporated a lot of fine silks and leather and like gold trimming and jewels and all that kind of stuff, because they like to wear their riches on what they're wearing. They like to wear their riches. Yes,
is that
from what I read online.
Lore?
From what I read online, that is what they enjoy doing.
I like that too.
It's the same with their buildings as well. Like things are meant to look very pretty, very ostentatious, very grand, and which is why we also added. Let's see, Tehran.
Oh, Captain Rubble, thank you so much. That's really nice to hear. Tara Hopkins is asking about crossbows. So we had them in the game, and we removed them because we just couldn't make them work technically. There were way too many challenges, and they won't see a comeback either, because that question was actually asked last stream as well.
And bows are better. That's my personal opinion. The bows
You're
are better.
biased, though.
I'm very biased because I do archery, but still. And so a lot of like bronze statues and things, things that look very heavy and very rich and very expensive and all that kind of stuff. That is what Tehran is all about. And all of these building pieces are tier 3. Yes, tier 3. And once you, so you can only start building them until it's very late in the game when you can start building them. But personally, I think it's really worth it. And then the pack also comes with new armors and some new weapons, which are all balanced to fit in with every other tier in the game. And so we really like the look of it. We think it really.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hello back to Russia. Thanks.
Shout out to
that you like the game.
Yes.
There was something else that I want to answer.
I'm just gonna mess around a bit and build a bit because I like building. We can probably take some questions from the chat. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's like scrolling quite fast. If we miss a question, it's not that we.
It's not that we're ignoring you. We might actually miss it.
It's just it's sometimes really difficult to like focus on all three screens.
Yeah, I mean that's why there's two of us, and even then we miss things. Someone asked, when will we see treasures in the game? Was that a big part of the Conan universe? I mean, there's loot chests in the sense that if you go to a certain place, you can find chests that have things in them that you might not find elsewhere. For example, there are certain chests in the game where you can find legendary weapons, for example, different kinds of epic loot. If those are the kinds of treasures that you are referring to. And then of course there's stuff in placeables that could be like referred to as treasures. You can smith like gold, you can mint gold and silver coins, for example. You can also find those in chests, but there's not you don't find like jewelry and then sell that jewelry to a merchant, for example. There's not RPG elements like that, for example.
Okay, so Whitebesh was asking about possible roadmap like Ross does. So that's a thing that we did do partially. It's just that the problem with the roadmap is, even though he even mentioned that it's okay if it doesn't make it in, we just want to know. And the thing is that I wish it would work that way, but it just not really does, not for everyone. Because the thing is, as soon as you mention something, it starts kind of a timeline. It starts like, okay, they mentioned like bunnies.
Joel mentioned sorcery
about
on
bunnies.
a stream.
I actively didn't want to mention
sorry.
that.
It was the most recent thing that I could think of.
But the thing is that we might start something and then we might have to postpone it, and because we have to focus on other things, because again, prioritization. And then people are like, but they talked about that like a year ago and it's still not in, and we hate them and they lied to us. So it's like, I over exaggerated, of course. It's just not as easy as it sounds. And right now we're more of the mindset that, okay, we are working on bugs and improvement and fixes, and also work on other existing or like, exciting new content. But we will share and talk about that content once it's actually very close to being ready and released. Because also it feels like sometimes you talk about something and a player gets super excited about it, and then we can't deliver on it for quite a while, and that is frustrating too.
Yes.
I mean, for me as a gamer as well, it's like, I've been waiting for this and I'm so excited for this, but it doesn't come out soon enough. It doesn't come out as fast as I would hope it comes out, right? So there's, yeah. So that's kind of difficult. Bunny DLC coming. I would like Bunny DLC too. I'm sure Nicole would agree.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nicole absolutely would. Doop. I'm just building now.
Flourish, by the way, to I remember now the previous question where you said, what do you do because it gets bigger and bigger? That's the reason we work on constant improvements and performance fixes for the servers, right? For all consoles. So that's kind of the thing that we're, that we're doing in that case.
Our main focus is always to fix critical bugs and issues that have been reported by the community. That is always the thing that we're trying to work towards. But then, as we mentioned earlier in the stream, there will always be people who want more stuff, and I would like more stuff in my games as well. And so we do have our coders work on bugs, and then we have designers working on adding more additional things to the game down the line. But yeah, our main focus is, for the time being, and it has been for several months now, been fixing critical bugs and issues, and really working on the core features, strengthening those, and then if we're able to, add to them.
Yeah. Stark, about that suggestion, he was suggesting some about player icons, which I think is actually quite a good suggestion. Make sure that you do use our official forums for suggestions. We have a specific suggestion forum, even though we might not be as active in answering there, because we are focusing on trying to answer as much as we can about fixes and issues and bugs and things like that. So we might not be as active in the suggestion forums, but we do see your suggestions, and we're making lists for the developers and bring them back to the team and discuss it with them. So make sure to use those if you have suggestions, because we will see it, we will look at it.
Yes.
But I can't really, right now, I can't really say, yes, we will do this and we will do that. So it doesn't really make sense to post suggestions in the chat. We really appreciate, though, that you are actually thinking about this and that you have ideas for improving the game. So please keep the ideas coming and make sure to use the official forums.
All right, I need to...
Oh, there's no need to apologize for nagging. Don't worry about it.
We don't consider it nagging.
Like I said, we really try to answer as much as we can. It's just and sometimes, with sorcery coming, it's mounts coming. As I said earlier, if we do have something to share, if we work on something, we will wait until we have confirmation, and we are at least in a space where this is gonna release relatively soon, and we'll go to test live relatively soon for you guys to test out. So you don't tease something that might not happen for a while.
Ah, damn it. Wrong way.
So what is UDC blah blah? What? So you won't answer because you don't have a clue about the issue. Cool, thanks. No, actually, I didn't see your answer. Your question. So what was your question?
Rooftop end dismantle.
Oh yeah,
please.
sure. I'm pretty sure Nicole can send a link to. There we go.
Yep.
Thank you, Lol. Even faster.
He is on point.
Oh,
absolutely.
Is Sven P in here? Hello. So yeah, there.
Shout out to Sven P.
Another next.
Who made an amazing, amazing Arabian castle, I think.
Fantastic builder.
On his YouTube channel recently. Go check him out.
We do like trapdoors. Let's put it that way. We do like trapdoors.
Do we?
We do.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm very happy about this.
Oh, that's cute. Did you just put that together while I was reading chats?
Yeah.
Man, I would have added more windows.
I always forget.
I have always tons of windows on my buildings.
Yeah.
He's too fast. He's really fast. He's a magician. Lol.
Okay. This is some of the stuff that you find in the Treasures of Tron DLC. Like I said, go check out Sven P's video where he built an entire Arabian castle, or Arabian palace, I guess the proper term is. And he should have, in my opinion, set it to Arabian Nights from Aladdin, but we can't have everything in life. But go check him out and go see some of the stuff that he builds.
You don't have a door.
Really, really amazing. I don't have a door, actually. I realized it, and then I was like, but then I have to tear down one of my walls.
Yeah, where's the door? Necroex as well. Where's the door?
Then I realized I had to tear down one of my walls, and I didn't want to do that, so I was like, oh, let's just do it like this, and no one will notice. But then someone noticed, and oh my god. I think I'm gonna switch us back to here. And let's go to the polls.
Thomas
let's
says,
Pokemon go to the polls.
I tamed the Rhino King yesterday and turned it into Turanian skin and became a regular Rhino with a skin. I was so sad. Yeah, we were aware of that actually. We mentioned it to the team, so that is kind of supposed to be the case. So you kind of have to choose between, do you want it to be like a pack Rhino, or do you want to be like a more powerful Rhino? But we also feel that it needs a bit more feedback on this, so it doesn't just change and you don't know that it's gonna happen. So hopefully we can introduce some kind of confirmation box or something that actually tells you what's gonna happen.
Yep. It was beautiful, doorless and all.
We'll talk about that, right?
Yes.
I still don't know what the question was from the person that was so upset that we didn't answer. So I don't know. I don't think they posted again. So I apologize for that, but I don't know.
Sometimes we miss things. There are currently 388 people watching the streams across 4 different platforms. Everyone's throwing messages at us. So sorry about that.
YouTube and Periscope and Twitch and Mixer, everything together.
And apparently there's a thing here when you press stop on a poll, you can just click and then it should automatically tell people in chat what the winning option was. The winning option was Jewel of the West.
Jewel of the West.
Which is the Aquilonian DLC, which got 18 votes.
So weird.
Really?
That's the one I like the least.
But I think people like the whole Greco-Roman...
Romanian.
Yeah, no, not Romanian. That's something else. Yeah, yes, it's very shiny. There's the Colosseum stuff. Like,
That's
there's
interesting.
People can look like Roman generals, all that kind of good stuff.
That is very interesting. I like the more exotic stuff. I like exotic things.
I'm also going to open up a giveaway in Twitch chat for a DLC key of your choice. So if you're currently sitting with us in Twitch chat, then you can type !raffle, and then you will enter in to join to win a DLC key. And now chat is going
now I can't
crazy.
read the chat anymore at all. So let's just... Someone else earlier mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't remember who mentioned it, but I was like, if you could do a stream where we would play online.
Right,
and I think that's a really great idea. We had ideas too that we'd like to also visit private servers and get a tour of like what they did, like have a tour of their areas, and they just introduce us to their in general always very like dedicated, detailed bases. So that would be fun to do as well.
Yeah. Someone asked if I could explain why Tehran gives cold protection. It's because the designers made it that way.
John, don't be mean. Why do you ignore my questions during raffles? I actually saw your question. Well, how about that? During the raffle, even though it's going like crazy. How about that? How about that?
The raffle is going to go for like 5 minutes, and then we're going to shut it off. And yeah, and of course, Viking DLC is also one of the things that people keep asking about.
Viking DLCs,
yeah. I mean, it's not a bad suggestion.
Yeah, like, obviously,
I mean, it would
Skull Cubs. So
I mean, it would be Nordheimer.
Yeah.
So it would be more. Let's see.
I think every armor set should have a cold and hot set to make them more versatile.
Well,
that would add a lot of additional resources to. Basically, it would double the amount of assets in the world, and that would add a lot of performance pressure again. So you have to imagine that every single item that we add to the world, or that players can spawn or use on their character, needs to be loaded and needs to be parsed and needs to be like communicate between the client and the server, and it adds, you know, pressure on the server. So that's kind of the thing that we have to balance, right? Or that any online game really has to balance.
Absolutely. Yeah, so
we want Transylvania DLC.
That's Secret World.
I don't think that's really Conan. Conan canon. That's not really Conan canon. Well, with the mirror of something.
What?
The mirror of something Dune. You can basically open portals to whatever world. So that would give you a. Yeah, like Howard actually added that because he was also friends with Lovecraft, and it gives him kind of a free out of jail card for whatever he wants to do, really. So. Tune, the mirror of Tune, I think it's called. It's actually Conan. The mirror is actually Conan canon.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, you live and learn.
That's gonna be important for something that's gonna come as well, like sometime.
It's really cool. Good to know. All right, so the giveaway is going to run for an additional 2 minutes. If you still haven't joined up and you're in our Twitch chat, then go ahead and type out !raffle in the Twitch chat. You will be entered to win a DLC key of your choice. Now, I saw a question.
Banning people for asking questions really isn't constructive, considering PS4 servers are sinking faster than the Titanic. I'm pretty sure we haven't banned anyone from the chat for asking questions, but we might ban you if you're just being rude and disrespectful.
Yes.
Because you can ask us questions, but if it depends, like, you know, how the question is asked, or if you spam. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I just wanted to point that out.
I saw a question about a Conan Unconquered stream, if that's going to happen in the future. Is that something I can talk about?
Yeah, it will happen in the future.
Yes, it will happen in the future. No, I was thinking more in terms of giving an actual date.
Yeah, it will happen soon. Let's just say that.
Very soon.
I mean, it depends.
Before launch.
Things. Yeah. For sure.
Let's say within a couple of weeks.
For sure. Also, Dune question comes up, of course, and we can't.
We have nothing to say about Dune.
We can't comment on Dune.
Apart from saying we are making a Dune game.
And that we were excited about
the
franchise, of course. But other than that, we can't really comment.
I am super excited to. I'm super excited to see all the stuff that we're going to do with Dune, and
the whole team is excited about having that franchise. So yeah,
it's going to be.
But that's
really
the only
fun.
thing we can say.
But yeah, it's not going to be all news all the time on the live streams.
Conan Unconquered just conquered my heart.
It's lovely, thank you.
Daniel Dogarmo says that. Oh, that's exciting.
How many people do we have now in this raffle? There's a lot of people.
DLCs for witch doctors. What do you mean by witch doctors?
I
mean,
think
if you talk about the skeletons, that's actually a free update. That's not a DLC. If you talk about summoning skeletons, that's free. That's gonna be free.
That is a free and an update.
With our next update.
Let's see. No, I don't have it on this character, unfortunately. Nope.
Do you have a list of the mods you demonstrated today?
Yes, I do. It is. I'm just going to quit out to the main menu so people can see what that looks like.
Any Marvel crossover now? Oh no, unfortunately that's not gonna
Okay, so this is actually pretty funny. Conan now is an Avenger.
He is?
Yes, in the Marvel comics.
Oh, that's probably the reason he asked about
it.
Or they asked
because
about this.
Marvel has now started publishing Conan comics again.
That is true.
And there is an Avengers comic.
That is
true. There is an Avengers comic.
Frederick Malmberg actually has posted about that.
And where Conan is part of the Avengers alongside a couple of other people. And it is really, really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to load up the mod screen. But before we do that, well, as we're doing that, because it takes a bit.
Also, as always, if you have suggestions, I just saw like an event suggestions already. Like, if you have suggestions either for the stream or for events and things, make sure to let us know. You can either tweet at me, for example, directly if you want to. That would be. Do we have the?
We have it now. It's up now.
It's visible.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Feel free if you have like suggestions for the stream or for events for specific things. Feel free to tweet at me. Always happy to hear about suggestions. Or you can also use our official forums, of course. So don't hesitate.
Yep. So the mods we have been using today are called Exile Architect and Fence Gates. They are both made by Ill Spirit.
Shout out to Ill Spirit, amazing work. Thank you so much for being a modder.
If you're watching, shout out.
Thank you so much for your hard work.
Shout out, you know what? Shout out to all the modders.
I was just about to say the same. Shout out to all the modders that do absolutely fantastic work.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic work.
All right. The raffle has concluded, and I'm going to.
No old bodies mod. There is actually. It's called Exiles, right? Or what is it called?
I have no comment.
I think so. There is
Wait,
actually
no.
there's a mod for everything.
There is an oiled.
much.
Yes, it is. There is an
There's an
oiled
mod.
bodies mode. Just do your Google searches. I'm not going to comment on it. Yeah, the raffle has ended, so I'm going to click this button. I'm going to pick a winner, and the winner is Kyle Hoot. I'm going to click this button. I'm going to say
Kyle
congratulations.
Hoot, congratulations.
And the thing is right. Cool. And Nicole, if you could be so kind as to give Kyle Hoot a tiny PM on Twitch, then we can get the ball rolling on what kind of DLC they would like.
Oh, chat, you're amazing. Look at all the congrats.
Legri from YouTube has it. The comic was called Savage Avengers. That's what it was.
Savage Avengers. That makes sense.
Yes, which is fitting for Conan.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for congratulating the winner as well. That is super nice of you.
Absolutely.
Lots.
Let's see. There we go. Back to the room. Okay. So.
Alrighty.
I
Damn, it's
think
already
that's it.
time.
Oh yeah, time flies.
Time
flies when
we
you're
have fun,
streaming.
Which is the same thing.
Yeah,
That's the
excellent.
same thing. When you hang out with the
Time
community.
flies when
I
people in
wish-
chat are amazing.
I wish we
and
could hang out
great
with the
to hang
community
out
more
with.
often too.
Well, we're gonna hang out a bit tomorrow because tomorrow is a
You
another
are,
Funcom
yes.
Variety Friday.
You and Nicole are.
So it's gonna be me and Nicole, and we're not quite sure what we're gonna be doing yet. But
Oh, thank you, Edward.
the Edward Busa says Natasha has amazing hair. The yeah, we're gonna play some. We're gonna see if we can play some games with you, the community, and that would be great if you could join us for that.
Yes.
And once again, shout out to Nicole for
Yes, thank you, girls.
holding
She's
it down
Durham.
in chat.
We love you guys
on
over
Twitch.
in Durham.
And as we always do, we like to host someone, or we like to raid someone, actually. So I think Nicole can actually find someone that we can raid.
Yes, so let's surprise a random Conan Exiles streamer. Also, shout out to everyone who is streaming Conan Exiles or creates content, or like I said, the modders as well. Thank you so much to everyone that like spends time in our game, creating content, sharing it with others, being welcoming on the forums. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And as we just said, Nicole is gonna find us someone to raid. We go
Fingers
say hello.
crossed.
We go say hello, dump a lot of followers on them, hopefully, like hit that follow button. Be nice, say hello. Don't be like mean or anything, please. Encourage them. They might also be very like shy or like surprised or shocked, so be nice to them, please.
Nicole says that she thinks she has someone.
Fantastic.
So just do the /raid command, and then we can start counting down.
Yes. Thank you so much for the new follows on all the different channels. Thank you for watching us on Twitch, Mixer, Steam, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Periscope/Twitter.
That's a lot.
Yeah. We don't stream live to Facebook, do we?
Not yet.
No,
I mean, we
not
could.
yet.
We could, but then we'd have
do
to.
all the things.
But then we'd have to pay more.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, nothing in this life is free, except updates, content updates in Conan.
Free updates in Conan Exiles are indeed free. All right.
Yeah.
So we are going to be raiding Yarati, who are streaming Conan Exiles right now.
Awesome.
Give them a huge shout out. Give them lots of love. And until then, we will
have a fantastic rest of the day, evening, afternoon, wherever you guys are. We love you very much. Thank you so much for being part of the community. Bye.